Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is my perspective on round 2 of Super Champs Season 3 here at Daytona Milton Keynes, and as you can see, it's a night race this time round. We are illuminated by the floodlights only, so it's definitely a bit more of a challenge. You know, while the floodlights do a good job, you really can't see all too well about what's going on, but you just kind of adapt to it over time. Also, the track is very cold with no sun to warm it up. While it wasn't the coldest of nights, it was, you know, the track was still pretty green and very slippy. So as we go on here for a lap in practice, just trying to get that cart warmed up, get used to the track conditions. Going through the turn 2-3 chicane here, we can just, it wasn't actually too bad there, but going through turn 4, trying to keep as much curb as I can on the outside, try and carry as much momentum through. But yeah, so I had a good finish last time round, 4th place, which was definitely good, definitely where I want to be. This time I'm aiming for around the same, obviously, with, you know, qualifying well is the main bit, so just making sure I don't mess it up and getting some good practice in ready for that lap is mainly what I'm trying to do here. We're also on the link back layout of the track today, so we won't have to go through the cliff drop section like we did last time. We're going through link back, so it's basically an extended turn 6. You go a bit deeper into the corner into sort of a double apex-ish hairpin. It's quite difficult to get braking because it's downhill as well. So getting that all sorted. And there's a first lap of practice there, so you could just see the lap around the track. Here we are, a bit of a yellow flag coming up, again still in practice, but always good to make sure you're not getting any penalties before qualifying by going too fast on the yellows and practicing slowing down for them. You see a bit of barrier repair by the looks of it there. But I'm just sliding coming into the last corner there, which is showing how greasy and slippy the track is. There's a lot of battling up ahead with the slower N35 carts compared to obviously the DMAX carts that I'm driving. This guy points us through, but just have to wait until the next straight in corner to get through there. And yeah, we'll just use this time to overtake, get some overtaking practice in, not only the slower carts, but maybe some faster ones. This is a bit of a, I don't know what was going on there, a bit of a collision bottleneck situation, but we got through it. So we're just again trying to chase these guys down, and 35 there, so much slower on the straights, very easy to overtake them there. It's the corners you have to worry about. But so these two DMAXs in front, they look a bit slow, so we could probably think about trying to make an overtake here, getting through a couple N35s, just diving down the inside. Again, very easy. But there's DMAX, he swings out and tries to avoid the N35 in front of him, but slams into the side of us. He says sorry, he waits for us, so, you know, I don't put any blame on him at all, really. Again, a bit of an unfortunate situation. He just gets stuck behind the N35. We're going to see a replay of it here. He gets stuck behind the N35, and I go to overtake him as he's going slowly, and he decides to just pull out. As you can see, slow motion here. So he's stuck there. I go to go past, and that's when he swings out. I don't really have anywhere to go. I'm just at the edge of the track. Pushes me wide, and I'm on the grass, and at that point I have no control, and I have a big meeting with the tyre barrier there. Not very pleasant, but yeah, I was fine. It was a very light impact in the end, so I got out of it and carried on. Again, he slowed down and said sorry, so I appreciate that. And there's a checkered flag for practice then, so we will go back to the pit lane and get ready for our 1 lap qualifying. Again, you only get 1 lap to qualify. You get your out lap, you cross the line, you do 1 fast lap to the line again, and then you come into the pits after that. So again, a lot of pressure, making sure that you get that lap correct. Again, you mess it up, you're going to be towards the back of the grid. So it is definitely worth getting your practice in and making sure you don't mess this up. Leaving a big gap to the cart in front is big as well, as you can see. I'm trying to, but this cart in front is going a bit slow. But that should be a big enough gap for qualifying to be okay as we go through the green flag here for our lap. Turn 1, take that flat out, a bit of a drift because again it's greasy. Turn 2 and 3 chicane. Go a bit deep into the first bits, but it was fine, alright. Turn 4, could have taken a bit more apex there, but the exit was good, so made up for that. Going into turn 5, you want to hit this first apex, I just miss it, but then this second apex you go wide and take the speed through. This is the link back section, go deep into this hairpin. You want to get a lot closer to the apex than I did there. I go very deep and lose a lot of time there. Turn 7 here. Again, you want to hit the apex and go out wide. I just missed the apex again, so not ideal. But as you can see, I'm closing into the cart in front. It's kind of putting me off. Through the kink here into turn 8. Take this as fast as you can. It's a very, very fast hairpin-like corner. And as you can see now, I'm basically right on the back of this cart in front, which isn't ideal. Because obviously, if he goes any slower, it's going to compromise my lap through the fast turn 9 there, into turn 10 hairpin, and I'm basically on the back of him here. I'm pushing him through into turn 11, the last corner. He takes a defensive line for some reason. I don't think he even knows I'm behind him. But I take a decent enough line across the line, and that was good enough, I believe, for 6th in class. So we will wait till we get to the grid here, and there we are. Actually, I believe it was 5th in class. Yes, it was 5th in class. There's 2 heavies in front of us. In these slippery, low grip conditions, obviously the heavies have a bit more of a matched game against the lights. Actually, they have more grip with the weight they put on the track. So they managed to qualify up with us, and I am 5th in class. So, waiting for the go-ahead here, and we get shuffled through. Taking this hairpin here, turn 10. And we're just warming up the engine, warming up the tyres, getting ready to go around the last corner and into turn 1 and just see where we are. You want to try and keep as close as a gap as you can to the car in front. Obviously don't go too quickly, otherwise you may get a penalty, so trying to keep in formation here. It was around this time I was having a bit of engine issues with my car, actually. You may hear it. I put my foot flat to the floor, but you hear nothing but revs. It's actually quite irritating. Here we are for the first lap, turning into turn 1 here, and you see the car in front just goes straight into the tyre barrier there. Horrible looking accident, and a red flag is shown immediately. So that race start has been stopped. As you can see, the cart behind here, Nathan James overtaking under the reds. I don't know what he was really doing, whether he saw the red. Either way, the race was restarted and we were reformed, but this is a replay of the start. As you can see, Jack Stewart there in the white helmet, he just goes a little wide in turn 1, loses it, skids off into the wall and hits it pretty hard, moves the tyres out of the way, and obviously causes the race to be red flagged. Correct decision by Marshall's there, and he was alright. He actually got back in a car and was back in the race. He's in the exact same position he was in before, which is good. Now you see waiting for the second start now. And there was an issue again. One of the N35s, I believe, had a chain loose or something, if I can remember. So we all had to turn our carts off once again and wait for a second start, which isn't good because obviously the tyres get colder, the engine gets colder, and there was actually condensation forming on the cart, so it was that cold, and we were waiting that long. So we were all pretty anxious to get underway. Obviously the magic of editing here, getting rid of most of it, but we were waiting for a good 10-15 minutes just in this position. So getting thumbs up here and getting shuffled through for the rolling start was a relief to see. Going for it. A lot of smoke coming up, as you can see, from the now very cold engines that we had. Getting our tyres warmed up, ready to go into turn 1 again, and hoping for a better start this time around, as my start wasn't actually that good last time, if you notice. But here we are, and again my engine issue of there, just a huge rev bomb as I put the throttle down. I'm not getting any drive. It's a bit odd. Anyway, waiting for that green flag. Here it is, I put my foot down, and as you can see, basically nothing happens. I get overtaken there by Philip Babulao in the car next to me. And I managed to make sure that's the only position lost there into turn 2 and 3 there. Turn 4, try and go around the outside. But again, engine issue, I just don't get any drive. This car trying to get around my outside here. Again, you can't really go on the outside of this corner, so it's an easy defence. But again, I'm just not getting that drive. He manages to think about keeping it there, but I managed to defend. Going into this hairpin here, just trying to keep up with the karts in front. If you lose contact with them, your race is kind of over. At least for me, I like seeing a kart in front of me to chase. That's when I'm fastest. Just, you know, following formation here into turn 2 and 3 chicane again. We're all very close after the first lap. It's looking like a decent race for us so far. I've only lost the 1 position, I believe. But here we are going into turn 5. There's a bit of a fight in front of us. It looks like Justin Elliott there in the black helmet gets past James Bedson in there in the red and black helmet. So he obviously is going to be trying to get that position back, which he tries to look up the inside there after the link back, but doesn't quite make it work. And Philip Babulao here in front of me, he's a very, very fast driver. He's usually up towards the top 1 or 2. So he's going to be looking to make these overtakes pretty quickly and get through the pack. And that's his goal. As we follow them down the straight here, they're getting a big slipstream, but he just has to wait behind for now. Again here, turn 10, you can't really make an overtake. It's a very quick corner, very sharp corner, so the chances of you hitting someone are just a lot higher than making an overtake, so there's no point doing it. And they gained a lot from me there. I must have had a really bad last sector, and they've pulled out quite a ways in front, and here I am just fighting with the car, just trying to keep them fit. Philip Babulao going up the inside there of James Bedson, making the move work. He's up a position now, and James Bedson is now the car I'm chasing. He does go up the inside of Babulao again there, side by side going into link back, but he backs out of it, and this has just made me close up just a little bit more if I didn't go so deep into link back there and lose a lot of time. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with them now. Again, James Bedson looking like he has another look, but doesn't quite make it work. And we're just going to sit behind here and wait for our opportunity to emerge and trying to improve our pace. Yep, just sitting back, trying to get a toe down the straight as much as we can. We're kind of losing track here to the karts that were a bit further up. Obviously, Babulao and Bedson's battle here slowed us down a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. We're just even to close back up to Justin Elliott there. The next kart's up. This is a 40-minute race, like us, a bit like last week, so it was not really that much of an issue if we didn't have the best of starts. It was a long race, a lot could happen, penalties for people in front, crashes for people in front, and if we were patient with our moves, we could make sensible ones instead of dangerous ones and keep positions instead of getting penalties. So that's the main point of a race like this. If it was a sprint race, it would be a different story. It would be try and throw your car into whatever gap you could find and look for the best, but in a long race like this, you really can't do that. You really can't risk penalties. We're very close here to James Bedson. It's probably the closest we've been in a while going through turn 8 here. We've got a decent rough exit. He maybe got just that bit of a better exit, so we're quite matched. I'm closing slightly going into the fast turn 9 here. Basically pushing him through the corner, but again, turn 10, not an overtaking corner. Trying to get that good exit. He seems to just get a tiny bit better of an exit than I do. Through turn 11 here, and he gets a much better exit there, and he's pulled away again. So you see just how difficult it is to manage this. Just one little mistake can cost you so much time. And here, talking about costing a lot of time, are the N35 karts. These are, again, slower karts. We're not racing them, but we do need to overtake them on track to get past them, obviously. And this is where you can really make or break a race. Whether you overtake them really well or they get in your way, it's either going to gain you a lot of time on everyone else, or you're going to lose a lot of time compared to everyone else. And unfortunately, this race, it was kind of the latter. Really, with every kart, as you can see, I tried to go up the inside there, but I couldn't. It was turning in. Well, you're not racing them. You do get penalties for knocking them off the track, obviously. We died down the inside of one there. So we do just need to be very careful of it and make the overtakes cleanly. But as you can see on the straights there, we just have so much more acceleration, so much more power than them. And there's a DMAX going up our inside there. He checks his left shoulder to see where I am, but I'm still on his right. So I managed to make the overtake there. Or keep the position, I should say. As we go to overtake 2 lapped karts here. Can't really overtake again into that hairpin. I maybe could have made it work there, but not quite. And that DMAX does use that opportunity to get in front of me, unfortunately. So I believe he's a heavy, so it's not really a position lost, but I need to try and catch him. Actually, kart 3. Ooh, I try and go up his inside. He closes the door. Not sure why. That's not the racing line. He throws his hand up. I don't think I was in the wrong there. The racing line is to the right hand side, so I'm not sure why he was moving to the left. Barry Morris there, overtaking him. He's a heavy in the N35s. Going up to a couple more N35s that are fighting each other. And this is not what you want to see. Them fighting each other in front of you because it takes up the track. You can't find somewhere to overtake. And that's where it gets a bit dodgy for you losing time. But I try and force my way up the inside of this first one, and we'll get this second one up the straight into link back, no problem. But if we look in front of us, as we actually go really deep, and the N35 manages to get back through, which isn't ideal. That's a lot of time lost. So we have to get past him again, which we will do on the straight. But if we look in front of us, we won't see the DMAX of James Bettison anymore. They've gone. We've lost so much time under these N35 karts. We've actually lost complete track of the leaders. Again, taking the N35 here. Another DMAX in front. I believe it's a heavy. He's a lot slower than us. He seems to just let us through there, which was nice of him. Again, one last kart to have to deal and battle with and lose time over. So at this point I'm just pushing on, and as we can see in front, there's the DMAX James Bettison there. We are catching up towards the end of this race. We are going to try a final push to try and get the overtake done. Another N35 kart there on the straight, easy to overtake. There's a couple more here though, going into turn 10, and they're going to make it really awkward for us. This is a part of the track where it's very narrow, very difficult to make an overtake if there's 2 cars battling in front of you. As they just block the straight a little bit, I have to lift off the throttle, and that compromises my run through turn 1. And I just lose that little bit of time to him again, but I am closing. That's the main thing, I am closing up to James Bettison. Could I make a move in the final laps? I just need to get a bit closer and make sure my driving is perfect. Couple more N35s here on the main straight. And again, just blocking me in. I can't really do much against this. I can't make an overtake here. I have to back out, do the switch back, get the first one. For the second one here, I'm going to have to hope I can get on the main straight. Maybe into turn 1. Nope, he closes the door, so I have to go around into turn 2 and 3. Which I do nicely. Control the slide. A big slide there, a lot of counters there. And there's a DMAX there, stranded on the corner. I believe that's one of the ones that overtook me earlier. Or not, maybe it was a lap 1. Either way, it wasn't for position. I think that was a heavy anyway, so it wasn't in class. And it shows that people can make mistakes, and will people make mistakes this lap, this race in front of me, so I can get positions. Again, just trying to force my way through these N35s, but as you can see, the DMAX running me again is gone. I'm getting really unlucky in the positions I'm hitting these lap cars, and I'm losing a lot of time. And unfortunately, that's just going to be a bit too much to overcome. And I'm just running out of time to catch the DMAX in front of him. In fact, you can't even see him anymore. In fact, you just saw him going around turn 11 there, the final corner. And that was the final corner as the checkered flag comes out. And that was the race. Again, I wasn't sure where I finished. There was a lot of confusingness there, a lot of heavies in the mix, and a lot of lap cars being overtaken. But it was P5 in the end, which wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. So again, P4 and a P5, not a decent, but decently bad result that. And I actually used my Joker round to this round, so you get 50% more points. So I actually found myself second in the championship after this round. Although, albeit temporarily, like I say, other people didn't use their Jokers. Kart number 3 in front here, not very happy with his kart, I don't think, as he goes into the maintenance bit to park up and gets that right out of his kart. But we park up right behind the kart we were chasing the whole race, James Bettison there, 102. As we think about the race that just went on. So, that's it. Thanks very much for watching, everyone, as we take our ballast there. Please remember to like and subscribe. I will be uploading the rest of the rounds from this season, and we'll be doing more content like this in the future, I'd imagine. So please like and subscribe. The next video should be out in about a week or so. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.